All right, so as you slowly wrap this up, you may possibly get a few more words to go along with that. This is a great experience to do if you have kids or just something to do over the holidays, is simply write down. It's a reminder to being present and to understanding who you are. We often forget in this busy, busy world of how many things that have to get done to just take a moment to reflect on the most important person in your life, which is you. I have kids, I'm married, however, I'm the most important person in my life because if I don't take care of me, if I don't work on me, mind, body, spirit, and business, I can't take care of them. If you're not taking care of yourself, it's really hard to take care of your customers. So throughout this experience over the course of the next 45 minutes, we're going to talk on all kinds of subjects, but it truly starts with who you are in this moment. So who would like to share their I am? A word or two, you can just say it out loud.
Future father, husband, son, student, friend.
Beautiful. I can point.
I'll go. Proud to be Ryan and Sarah's mom. I'm learning. I'm striving to be healthier with nutrition and working out.
Yes.
I am blessed to have great longtime friends. I'm grateful every day just 'cause. And I'm glad not to be in Wisconsin winter.
Yeah. Very good. One or two more? There's no right or wrong answers. Yeah.
You got a lot written down
What about Steve?
Yeah, you do know a lot.
Yeah, Steve?
I practiced this, so
Luker.
easy this time. Oh, I'll do mine.
Go ahead.
Or I just put, I am loving, honest, funny, proud, loud, sensitive, independent, organized, active, outdoorsy, and spiritual.
Beautiful.
there. Luke, your turn.
Yes.
I'm
I
opposed.
am. Oh, I'm sorry. The other one. Very good.
I'll just go by Steve. the
Yeah,
rest.
no.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
let's go Skywalker. All the way.
All right. I'm a husband, a father. I'm competitive, funny, even-tempered, good listener, team player, nice, understanding, personable, respectful, smart, and capable.
Awesome. Very good. So, without these two words, it's really hard to be you. And when I walked in here and I said, hey, look, I'm very authentic, I'm very open, I'm almost vulnerable because I'm doing this live and I'm doing this with you guys. I'm here for a purpose. Oftentimes, whether we have kids or not, we forget or we have never even taken the time and energy to go deep into what is our purpose. And that word can often scare people. Purpose. Oh, that means that my life is coming to an end and I have to figure things out. Well, not at all. You had a purpose when you woke up this morning. You had a purpose when you put on the outfit that you're wearing. You had a purpose when you had breakfast. What was those purposes? They all added up to something. So if you know your life's purpose in a sentence, raise your hand. No, right? Most people don't. But what you do know is the impact that you have on your life and the people's lives around you. And if you add up enough of those impacts, that ultimately becomes your purpose. So what I want you to do now is take a minute and uncross your legs, feet are flat, get into a position. So we're going to talk about breathing. And breathing is extremely important because it's part of your autonomous nervous system. It means it happens automatically. You don't have to remind yourself. You don't have to set an alarm. Most of us breathe all day long, but yet we don't pay attention to that breath. So my journaler, do you meditate and do yoga?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Usually they tend to go hand in hand. So what we're going to do right now is just simply take 3 breaths. So what I want you to do is relax, close your eyes, breathe in through your nose, hold that breath, and out of your mouth, release that breath. Repeat, in through your nose, hold, a little bit longer this time, and release. One more, biggest breath, best breath, in through your nose, hold. Listen to the sounds around you. Hold. You're in control. Hold. And slowly release out of your mouth, opening up your eyes. It can be that simple, is to call a timeout on your busy, busy day. And one of the reasons why I journal and meditate and breathe is because I have clients from sometimes 5 in the morning till 6 or 7 at night. I have kids, I have a wife, I have a life. And if I just go through the whole order of things, chaos happens. I become extremely overwhelmed, stressed out, and ultimately what I want to do is just say, forget it all. It's too hard, it's too much work. How many times have you been working on a possible loan and you've said, you know what, this is never going to work. Throw it away. And then like an hour later, you're like, all right, let's get back to it. How many of you guys have closed? How many of you guys are actual loan officers in the room? Okay, beautiful. Awesome. So for those of you guys that have kids, this doesn't exist, right? This is either black or this is white. All right, so how many of you guys are LOs in the room? Awesome. Beautiful. And for those of you guys that are not, you're still going to listen to this information because everything that we're going to talk about today carries into your life. Like, I'm not here to make you a higher or better producer. I'm not here to increase your income or increase the income of homeowners. I'm here to make you better people. And when you become a better person, you understand how the world and the universe will literally unfold for you. So that breathing technique is something I do throughout the day. I usually wake up in the morning and I begin to start focusing on my breath. And I do that through my meditation, and I do that through my walk, and ultimately, I do that in the elevator before coming up into a speaking engagement. So, you guys make phone calls throughout the day, right? How many of you guys are walking around talking versus sitting down behind your desk when you're making phone calls? Walk, talk, or sit phone?
Both. I like walking and talking.
Yes.
That gets me into the conversation.
Yes. And you are?
Casey?
Casey. Just make sure you're not
Well,
Luke.
Sure, I don't know if Dave's
Yes. Awesome. So the reason why it's important to understand all of the things that we're talking about today is because we are all energy sources. It's simple as that. Like, if I came in here with low energy because of the food choices I made or the poor quality of sleep I got the night before, I would literally not have the same energy to deliver to you what I want you to take away from. So think about that the next time you have to make a phone call. Are you like priming yourself to get ready for this phone call, or is it just another list? Okay, great. Hi, Mrs. Johnson. This is, right, like you have to put in the exact energy that you put into everything. How you do one thing is how you should do everything. So what is your favorite thing in the world to do?
Read.
Beautiful. Listen, readers, journalers, yes. Do you meditate and do yoga as well?
Occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally, very good. What does reading give you?
Relaxation.
Yes. Okay, very good. Awesome. And how often do you read? Every day?
Every day.
Morning, afternoon, evening?
Evening.
Okay. Do you feel rejuvenated when you're done reading, or do you feel tired and ready to go to sleep?
Relax so I can go to sleep.
Relax so you can go to sleep. Okay. Does anybody else in the room read in the morning at all? Okay, very good. So one of the hacks that you're going to learn throughout the day today is to write this down. We got to hack our reading. So you're going to write down anywhere you want to an app called Blinkist, Blinkist. Okay, so who has a morning routine that they're proud of? Pretty good. Okay. What time do you wake up?
5:45.
Okay. And what do you do next?
Gym, 6:15.
I'm glad you didn't say gym, tan, laundry. Beautiful.
Nice.
6:15. What do you do between this time?
I'll read the news, which I know probably isn't the best way to start my day.
There's no judgment in this. What we want to do is ultimately gain some new practices that will give us what we want. Everybody in this room wants something different. You might be financially pushed to come to work every day because you didn't grow up in that kind of environment. You may want to give back because you've never owned a house before until you started working here. Everybody here has their own purpose. Everybody here has a different reason why they wake up. One of the things that we wanted to talk about today was how to wake up on fire. So if we go to bed relaxed, how do we then wake up on fire? And everybody's morning routine is different. And I share this with you, and I share this with the world. I used to sleep in, and I used to sleep in all day. And I used to spend a lot of time leaning over and hitting snooze. Well, my morning routine is much different now. And I teach people how to wake up on fire for the simple fact that you can become more efficient, effective, and productive if you have a morning routine which is not wake up, shower, coffee, and in my car. So 5:45, 6:15 gym, that's still what, 7:15?
Yep, 7:15.
Beautiful, then?
Walk home, make breakfast.
Okay, walk, breakfast. Okay, next.
Usually a coffee, client coffee, realtor coffee, 8
Yeah.
o'clock.
Good, and the office at?
8:45.
Okay, and then you grind till
Yeah, whatever.
when the job's done,
Yeah.
right? Call it 6:15. Somewhere in there, possibly?
Yep.
Okay, how many of you guys share that same kind of schedule? Okay. What's different about your schedule than this one?
I don't do any of that morning stuff.
Very good. All right. So you're so relaxed, it's hard to wake up on fire, right? You've read so many good books, it's really hard to wake up on fire. And that's okay. Ultimately, what we talked about when we first got here was, I'm going to give you guys a ton of tools. You're going to take those tools home with you. Some of you are going to apply the tool that opens up this door. Some of you are going to apply the tool that creates a greater relationship with your wife and your kids. Some of you guys are going to say, you know what, I'm not going to use any of those tools right now. I like waking up a few minutes before I have to be at the office. It excites me. It's part of the reason why I read romance novels before I go to bed, is to wake up and rush to work. No judgment at all, okay? Morning routines are going to be key to your success, to a greater outcome. Okay, so because I used to sleep in all day long, it's now part of what I do. It's part of my passion, is to teach people how to get more done. Look, we all share this. Correct? Please, somebody tell me if I'm wrong. We all share the same time. We all have the exact same amount of time. So why do some people get more done than others? Why do some people run late and some are on time? Why do some people walk in the door, not picking on you, late, and other people are here early? Everybody's different. However, if you begin to design a AM program, you will create more efficiency and effectiveness in everything you do, including spending time with your kids. How many people have kids in the room? Beautiful, right? Awesome. Grown? Yeah, but you still have them, right? All right, so here's how we're going to design a morning routine. And again, you guys are going to take some notes, and ultimately you're going to open another page at another time, maybe at lunch or tomorrow, and you're going to design your own workout, or morning routine. So first thing you do is set one alarm. How many people hit snooze in the room? Be real, tell the truth. Beautiful. Right, we got a couple people. So we set one alarm. This morning I was listening to Drake, God's Plan. The other day I was listening to Bob Marley, One Love. I changed my genres up, but I have one alarm downstairs, which gets me up and out and away from this. It's too easy. Part of what we're doing here in creating more and becoming more is that we have to challenge ourselves and continue to apply pressure. Comfort will kill you. Comfort in your relationships, comfort in teaching your kids, comfort in pounding the pavement when it's time to get more deals in will kill you. Right? How many people here have been like, it's the end of the month, I have to close this deal or I'm not going to pay my mortgage this month? Good for you guys. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful, right? So what happens is you pound, you hustle, you grind, and you get a desired result. So inside of this, we have to apply some pressure. So I wake up, one alarm music, and I drink a glass of water. How many people here, the first thing they drink is coffee? Ooh, yeah. Just sidestep it. Drink a full glass of water first. I love coffee so much, I drink the water out of my coffee cup. From there, we want to breathe. Why is breathing important?
Keeps you alive.
Thank you. Conscious breaths, those same 3 breaths that you took when we first started, if you take those every morning with your glass of water, you become more appreciative. I heard somebody say that they have gratitude, appreciation. When you have gratitude and appreciation for the fact that you are alive another day, little things tend to bother you a whole lot less. We spilled chocolate milk in my truck. For 7 days, nobody told me that the chocolate milk was spilled. Yesterday, I woke up, we got ready, I did all of these things. You're going to get into a little more details, and thus came the chocolate milk. Chocolate milk in a truck for 7 days equals yes. We were on our way to school. We were running late. We could have easily Shrek'd out, which is what my kids often call me sometimes. But instead, I went through the processes. I went through this because this is going to get you out of some of the most challenging situations. Stress, anxiety, pressure, cold calls, warm calls, hot calls, intimacy with your wife or husband, one-on-one conversations. This right here is the key to everything that we're going to talk about today. Did you guys even notice you just had a breath right now? No, because you were focused on this. So stop, take 3 breaths on your own. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Beautiful. We must do this all day long. The next time you get ready to make a phone call on the headset because you're moving and using your hands and you're more powerful from that position, you're going to tell yourself, I'm going to take 3 big breaths before I do it. The next time you're getting ready for a review or there's a client coming in, you're going to take 3 big breaths. Can we stretch it out, make it longer? Of course. Can you do it for 10 to 20 minutes? Yes. But like anything, if we do too much of one thing, it's going to take us away from what we have to do, which is why this routine right here is called the Power Hour. It should be done in 1 hour. That 1 hour of additional work before you come to work gives you the power that you need to do all of this. And I'm not even going to go into this great detail. As we know, eventually this is going to become kids. This is going to become date night. This is going to become all these other things that eventually take away your time. Which is why the most important part of my day, and I highly recommend it becoming yours, is that first hour in the morning. So we take a couple breaths. Beautiful. Appreciation. Awesome. We may pray. We may meditate. Up to us. We're just going to call this more breath work. And then we move. Not everybody needs to go and work out. You don't need to. That's up to you. What do you want? What is your goal? What is your target? What is your health like? What is your body like? For those of you guys that do work out, great. But if it's eating up 60 to 75 to 90 minutes of your day and you need more time, the only way to get that is to move. 10 minutes. How do we do that? Walk. Walk the dog if you have one. Awesome. Can we multitask in this world? How many of you guys are really good multitaskers? Good. You shouldn't be. Shame on you. You should be a monotasker. However, you can do a lot of things. You can walk the dog. You can walk and talk. You can walk and blink. This is how I consume information in the morning on this app called Blinkist. So I walk the dog, I move my body, and I listen to some information of my choice versus the news or the media. It's their choice. I then come back inside the house, I sit down, and I do a little journaling. How much journaling? A couple words. A page. How much journaling do you do?
I do my highs and lows of the day.
Yeah.
And anything else that's on my mind.
Beautiful. Because what happens is if it's trapped in here, it's going to come out here. If all these ideas and thoughts are consuming you, plus the workload that you have, and you don't have a way to express it, you get stuck. Freedom is key to everything that we do. Freedom of the mind, freedom of the body, freedom of your workload. So from this place here, we go into a journal, we go into a blink, a little bit of information. I come back inside the house. Now it's time to wake up my kids and make coffee. Okay? Create your own morning routine, and you will see the world open up for you. You will see you have more time because you're not focused on, did I make it to the gym? How many people say they want to go to the gym after work? It never happens.
Does coffee have to be so far down, or can we like
How about
arrange
this?
any way we want to arrange
How about this? Coffee before water. That's all that matters.
Okay, so
Coffee
so we can
before
kind
water.
of like tweak this to
Yes.
what fits our.
Yes.
Okay.
This is all about you making it yours.
Okay.
Now, here's the difference, okay? One thing we haven't discussed is distractions, aka email, news, bless you, okay? This stuff here, it's important. It's important to you because without this, you're not going to be able to produce. And ultimately, all this stuff here is going to give you power to produce. However, if you start your morning with this, what's going to happen?
Stress.
Anxiety, stress, that feeling of being overwhelmed. If you do these little things your own way, 45 to 60 minutes, and then you decide that you're in charge, just like that breath, when you release that exhale, you're in charge, then you can handle all these things. For me, I don't start this till I drop my kids off at school. My kids to school is my non-negotiable. If I'm pressed for time or I'm working late, I pick the 3 or 4 things that I know are going to serve me best. Water, breath, appreciation, and possibly walk the dog. If I can't walk the dog or I don't walk the dog, then I do a 5-minute workout. What's a 5-minute workout? 5 squats, 5 push-ups, 5 minutes. We make it complex. We got to go join a gym. We got to hire a trainer. We got to go and do these things. Ultimately, you're in charge. The world's best personal trainer is you. The world's best gym is the road outside your house. And if you use those things every single day, you'll understand that this power hour gives you everything that you need to come to work to then set the world on fire. So, how many of you guys think that you can create your own morning routine in the next 90 seconds? Awesome. Let's go. Write it down. Separate page. What time are you going to wake up tomorrow morning? What is the first thing that you're going to do? What is your workout going to be? And yes, you can walk the dog. When is your coffee coming? And by the way, if you don't make bulletproof coffee, I highly recommend it. I make bulletproof coffee every morning. I follow something called intermittent fasting, which means I don't eat until after lunch. And my body uses the stored fat that it has as energy. And bulletproof coffee, put a circle around it. You can Google it. You can YouTube it. And it'll show you how to make
Creating
it.
a different routine than
Yes,
what we have
you're
now?
creating your own routine.
Different than what we're doing right now. Okay.
Much different.
Okay.
Now, if I had said, hey, who's got a rock star morning routine? And you're like, I do. I wake up at 3:45. This is what I do. I'd be like, that's you, girl. You got that. But we're all developing. We're all creating. What this does is this builds something called keystone habits. Keystone habits. A keystone habit is a morning workout. A keystone habit is making a green smoothie. A keystone habit is meditating or journaling. Now, as you guys continue to write, listen. Because we focused on personal development first. Personal development is the key to professional development. If you don't work on yourself first, it's really hard to then work on your business, especially if you're making poor food choices or bad habits. So, as we look at this morning routine, you guys are going to pick what time you wake up. But I can tell you right now, you got to wake up about 30 to 60 minutes earlier than you are right now. My 5:45 turned into a 5, turned into a 4:44. I like Jay-Z, turned into a 4:30, turned into a 3:30 for about 2 months. And what I found out was at about 8 p.m. I was miserable. So therefore, that morning routine didn't serve me for what I wanted to do. The coolest part about all of this is that you are your greatest science experiment. But if you're not spending any bit of time or energy expanding your knowledge, working on development, moving your body, meditating, breathing, journaling, doing all these things that what we call high performers do, you're missing something. Beautiful. Next piece we're going to talk about is mastering time. How do we master time? Okay, we start by singular focus. So as great as you multitaskers are, you can only do one thing really well. So here's what I want everybody to do. Take a look at my finger. Everybody sees my finger? Right? This is what we call monotasking, singular focus. Now look at everything outside of the window. Everything. Every building, every house, every plane, everything. Look at everything at once. Feel like you're in a bad roller coaster, right? You can't do it. And although multitasking is this marquee thing we used to put on our resumes, it's not valid anymore. We have to be really good at one thing. So the next thing I want you to write down and put a square around it is called deep work. Deep work is an idea and a concept It's actually a book that talks about going into these time blocks, 25 to 40 minutes at a time, to work on one task. This does not mean my phone's up, I'm checking my Instagram status, my phone's connected to my Mac so that every time somebody texts me, it pops up on my computer. I have 18 windows open, and I have 6 people I need to call. That is not doing it right. Because what happens is, we don't do anything well. So in order to get really good, you got to focus on one task at a time. What's the most important, my LO, what's the most important job that you have in one day? If you had one thing you could do right now today, that was it, what would it be?
Prospect.
Prospect. Beautiful. What does prospect take? We used the word earlier. It starts with an E.
Energy.
Energy. Beautiful. Do you think this is going to close a deal or get somebody to... Here's the deal. You guys are fighting robots. Like your job, you're going against a robot. A robot that can answer my questions 24/7, 365. So why am I going to choose you or you or you over the robot that I could access at 2 in the morning? Because I got to get out of this house and move to Wisconsin. Is it Minnesota or Wisconsin? Wisconsin. Yeah. We like it here too. Right? So prospecting, it takes energy. I need to focus on that one task really well. If I have to do one job really, really well, but yet I'm getting pop-up reminders or buzzes or sounds, how am I going to do that job really well? I'm not. So what happens is I lose energy. I lose energy. I lose energy. I had a hamburger, fries, and 6 beers last night. I lose energy. I lose energy. I lose energy. I hit snooze this morning when I woke up. I lose energy. I lose energy. I lose energy. Then it's time. Joe comes in the office. Hey, listen, man, we got a prospect. It's the end of the month. It's the end of the year. We got to make things happen. Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, and then you sit down at your chair and you make these prospect calls. The energy is not there. So, everybody stand up. Open your chest up, open your arms up, open everything up. Big stretch. This is called an energy break. Arms come up over your head. Stand up on your toes. Touch your toes, touch the ceiling 3 times. 1, 2. I'm counting. That's 1. Beautiful. I know you guys got some nice clothes on. I do too. Sit back down. Beautiful. We don't need a lot, right? If we go back to this part about movement and waking up on fire, we don't need a lot. We need a 5-minute breathing session. We need a 5-minute meditation. We need to walk the dog for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. I come back to this place. Now my energy is high because I've created this morning routine. Awesome. My number 1 target is to prospect. Beautiful. How many calls do you make a day?
About 15.
15. Why 15?
No particular reason.
Okay, so you could easily do 30.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. How young are you?
28.
Notice I didn't say how old are you? How young are you? 28? Yeah. 28. Beautiful. So how about this? You're going to make 28 phone calls a day for the rest of the month. How many days a week do you make these 15?
About 3 or 4.
About 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's the best mathematician in the room right now? Somebody's got to be really good that you go to. Percentages.
6 or 8.
Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to take, let's just make it simple. Let's call it 15. Let's double that. And let's make this 6 days a week. 95. So you have the availability to make 95 more phone calls a week without having you take a course, without having you staying up all night, without having you work on Sundays. Is this doable? Yes. Can you commit to doing it? Different question. How many people here want $1 million in the bank? Yeah. How many people here are willing to work every single day, 15 hours a day for the next 10 years to possibly get an opportunity to make $1 million? Beautiful. So, here's what you got to do. Open up a page. 2 next most powerful words after I am is I commit. What are you committing to? Yourself. About what? That's up to you. I can't want more for you than you want for yourself. But I can tell you right now, I'm in the service business just like you. And when you're in the service business, it means you're also in the sales business. And when you're in sales and you're in service and you need more prospects, as we all do to make the world go round, then what do we have to do more of? Make phone calls. Make the phone ring. If you can't make the phone ring, then you have to call people. How many people get a phone call and they say, hey, I'm serious about refinancing my house. I don't owe a lot on it, and it's in Paradise Valley. Could you come down here and check it out? Anybody ever have a phone call like that? No. Very rare. Right? So again, and not to disrespect you or take things away, there are 1 billion of you. There's 1 billion of me. So how do you stand out in that crowd? You must go above and beyond. This goes back to that concept of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So, we take it a step back. You create this morning routine that gives you power and that gives you energy and that ultimately gives you certainty as to why you're doing what you do. You come in the office, you got a ton of energy, and you got to do one thing really, really well. Because here's the truth, man. If I don't produce income, me changing people's lives, it's important, but it's not that important to my family. I can't go home with a whole lot of lives I've changed and be like, I'm Gandhi. It's not going to work like that. They go hand in hand. So you got to have the energy to make these prospect calls. And I can tell you right now that if you do this morning routine and you increase your output and you go above and beyond, you'll make that happen. Out of those 15 calls, how many of those become clients? Probably a little bit higher, right? 30 or 45? How many phone calls does it take to get somebody to get to the next step with you?
I think Joe's better at that.
No, I know. But you're my young 28-year-old. So what happens in these 15 phone calls? What do you say?
Well, it's like a combination of prospecting or following up with pre-approvals and things along those lines. Your realtors.
Yeah.
So
these aren't even really cold calls.
No.
Yeah. So you want to know how you get better at calling people and prospecting? You make the most uncomfortable calls there are. Okay, and I'm just picking on you because you're right here, and you're 28 years old. Right? See the youngest in the room? Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful, right? So you got the most to learn, but you also have the most opportunity. And the simple point of this is, guys, we can all do more. Okay, so this is in my business where I come from, the get them part. This is the get them portion of what we do. But then you have the keep them. How many people have ongoing relationships with their clients that possibly refinance or purchase house multiple times? Raise your hand. Great. And what would you say that number is? Let's say you do 100 loans a year. Out of those 100, how many of those are returners?
75%.
75%. Right. So what are you guys doing to keep them? Prospecting's great. We got to get new ones in, right? But what are we doing to keep them? Okay? Beautiful. So we're going to talk about
This is like 5%.
You need to tell me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. 5%. 5% sounds a little bit more like it. Okay. All right.
What was the question?
Needs to come hang out with you guys back there.
Okay. Above and beyond. Have I created any value for you guys here today? Raise your hand if I have. If I haven't, keep your hand down. For those of you that got here late, you didn't get the full value. Okay? I created value. These journals, these tangible objects you have in your hand, are they valuable? Right? Why did I do that? We're getting into the participation part of this.
To journal.
Yeah, but why did I bring this to you?
Create value.
Beautiful. To create value. Why? I don't have money falling out of my pockets here. Why?
To set yourself apart.
Very good.
A billion others of you.
Beautiful. Yeah. So going above and beyond, and not only getting them prospecting, but keeping them, right? Let's get real detailed here for a second so you understand the magnitude of this. Joe and I have a working relationship. Yes, we're friends, but we also have a business relationship. Joe hired me to be his personal trainer about 3.5 years ago. He's actually one of the reasons why I'm standing up here in a suit today versus teaching people in my Lululemon, was because he inspired me to go to a Tony Robbins event about 18 months ago. And coming back from that event, I realized what I wanted to do. I wanted to impact people's lives so that they could impact the lives of the people in their life for generations to come. And teaching people how to stay fit wasn't enough. Teaching them nutrition was not enough. I wanted to go above and beyond in my calling in life. And that turning point about 18 months ago pushed me down this rabbit hole to learn as much as I possibly could so that I could teach as much as I possibly could. I can't tell people to meditate if I haven't learned how to meditate at a very high level. I can't teach people how to eat right and move their body if I haven't done that myself. I can't teach people how to keep clients and create value if I don't do that myself. You are a walking, talking billboard for everything that you do. So the next time clients come in the door, meet them at the elevator. Ask them, how is their wife? How are their children? How's their dog? How do you find out this information? Social media. Snoop around. Like, investigate who your people are. And when you know them at the highest possible level, they will give you everything. So I came here today to create some value. Why? Because I love being up here and I love teaching people because I see the light bulbs open up. But I also wanted to create value for Joe because I want to come back here in 2019. I'm an executive leadership coach. So I want to teach guys like you at the highest possible level, all the way through the organization, how to live life at the highest level and go above and beyond. And not just in an hour, not just one day. So I created value. So what other ways can you create value for your clients?
Going deep.
Yep. How? What?
Be interested.
Yeah.
Learn about them personally.
Yeah. Because what happens is, you're doing this, right? How many loans are we doing in this office a month?
I don't know, 30, 40.
30, 40, right? 30, 40 people. And I know what you guys are saying, the people who are processing, right? How do I ever know who these people are? Well, I guarantee you that if you found a way to be more efficient and effective in your time and carve out 5 minutes a day, possibly per loan, you could get this intel to the person who's coming. Hey, Joe, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson are coming by at 11 o'clock. Here's what I got. Their son and daughter are twins, and they're both going to NAU. Cha-ching. Bing, bing. Awesome. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, welcome. Good to see you guys. Have you been up to Flagstaff, is it? It's Flagstaff, right? Have you been up to Flagstaff with the kids lately? Congratulations, having 2 kids in college. I understand the importance of this loan. How hard was that? How difficult was that? How challenging was that? Right? Use social media to create awareness of your clients, of the people that you're servicing. Go above and beyond, create value. The last piece I want to touch on here is a book that Joe is going to get for everybody that will go into greater depth. It's called Hug Your Customers. Literally and figuratively, hug your customers. Every single person in this room, except for my man in the back. Nice to meet you. You're late. Got personal contact, got a personal touch. Now, every single person that closes a loan that you do business with, what do they get from you?
Service.
Good service, no.
Okay, so how about this? There's 3 things that I do that you can do and apply it to your life today that will ultimately create more value for you. Number 1, I make phone calls. I pick up the phone. Not a voicemail, not a video, not a text message. Those are auxiliary. I pick up the phone. How many of you guys send an email and you're like, they haven't replied back, it's been a day. I don't check my emails for days sometimes. But if you call me, you're going to get me. At some point, I'm going to return that phone call. Number 2, handwritten cards. And I'm going to hand these around right here. And what you're going to do is take one of these handwritten cards, pass them down. I write handwritten cards. I send them in the mail. Hey, Joe, truly appreciate you for the opportunity to speak to your team. They seem super active and engaged. I would love the opportunity to come back in 2019. Have a great day. Okay? Are you guys writing handwritten cards to people who are closing?
Yeah.
Who?
Who?
Who's writing?
Everybody.
Okay, beautiful. It has to be an everybody job. So one of the notes that I took from this book, Hug Your Customers here, you can't truly become customer-centric unless the entire organization is integrated so that everyone touches the customers. And so you have to ensure and enable that that happens. Everybody has to do it. When we owned a gym, and we taught fitness for a couple $100s a month, when you enrolled in our coaching program, and there were companies all around that were much cheaper than us and delivered a lot less value, you got a handwritten card. If you did something great, like your first pull-up or you lost 10 pounds, you would get an attaboy. Like, you guys collectively need to create a system going above and beyond. What happens in the first month after, let's say it's a new home purchase? What happens in month 3? What happens in the first year? And this book will help you kind of get aligned with that. Next piece. Even at an early stage, our customers understood that they wanted 5 things more than than a great location or enormous inventory. So this goes back to us and the bots, right? You guys are competing with the 1-800 numbers. You guys are competing with all these different companies that could pre-qualify you overnight. And yes, those might send you somewhere to get onto a real phone call, but ultimately, you got to do these 5 things. A friendly greeting. I know you're Italian, but that was not the friendliest greeting that I received coming into the office.
Really?
Personal interest. I was like, damn, who is this fireball right here?
I shook your
Yeah,
hand and
yeah.
offered you water.
Yeah, no, that was after, but you were like, how can I help you? Okay.
Just checking you out.
Personal interest. Personal interest, right? Joe jumps out of planes. I know it's been a long time since you did that now, right? Understanding. You're a journaler. You meditate. She reads books. So she's not going to be truly inspired by a Blinkist. But when it comes to the holidays, stop shopping for a white elephant gift. Get her a book and write on the inside of that book. Again, guys, we're going above and beyond. You can do this for your customers and clients as well. Number 3, a business that makes them feel special. Again, how do I feel special if I'm doing alone? How do I not feel like the other 99 people that you're calling? Number 4, a no problem attitude. So one of the rules that we engage with companies is we talk about words you never say, things you never say. And one of them is, it's not my job. We teach our kids to say that as well. You never say that. You may say, I don't know exactly how to answer that, but let me find out. Number 5, forward thinking. What does forward thinking mean? Anybody?
Being proactive.
Yeah, very good. Being proactive. Awesome. Can you give me an example of that?
In terms of work.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had a loan on Friday that we resubmitted, and I was uncomfortable about one of the conditions, hoping, not quite sure it'd be satisfactory, and so the forward thinking that Joe suggested was, instead of waiting, was to just skip over everybody and go straight to the person that was gonna make the decision.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for them to nip the potential
Beautiful.
problem.
And what was the outcome?
We won.
Beautiful. Right? Versus waiting. Waiting is one of the worst things that you can do. Be proactive. Take action. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about here inside of Hug Your Customers is the people that you're working with. You're only as strong as the people inside of this group. So this card that you have, it says Luke Chaim on it. You're going to turn it over. And you're simply going to write a thank you to somebody in the office. Doesn't all have to be Joe. Think about somebody who's done something for you lately. And you're just going to simply write them a thank you. Take 90 seconds to 120. And when this is all said and done, sometime throughout the day, you're going to leave that little keynote on their desk. Do I have any football players, cheerleaders, anybody that was in the military? Okay. Football. Yeah, beautiful. You are only as strong as your weakest link. If the new hire is drowning, guess what? Help them swim. If somebody's struggling on getting something closed, guess what? Help them. If you give, you get. If you take, you get nothing.